So here I was, minding my own business.
Came into my life and started a fire.
And then all of a sudden, a snapshot drops. I might like my cats a little bit too much. Snapshot20w09a is here. We got target blocks. We got crying obsidian. We have new piglin behavior changes, and we have a whole bunch of other things that are new in this snapshot. A ton of stuff. This video would have come out yesterday if I hadn't already published a video.
How you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
But this will be the most complete snapshot video you've ever seen because we've had an awful lot of time to look at it, gaze at it, check out them sweet, sweet right angles, because everything's a block, not curves. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and there's actually quite a lot of stuff in this snapshot. Like, I know that I already mentioned it, but holy moly. So let's start off with actually, let's not start off with crying obsidian. You're too depressed for me, okay? We're gonna start on a high note. Depressed because it's crying, because it has tears. We'll get to that. Maybe you don't even know anything about it, so maybe that joke was just totally flat. So let's talk about the target block. New block in Minecraft. This is what it looks like. It has some, interesting lines on it, and that is because it's basically just a hay bale. So this is the crafting recipe is hay and then redstone dust around it, and then you'll get a single target block as the output. So pretty simple to make. How does it work? Well, we actually saw this block already at Minecon Live.
Here is the target block.
Hooray!
And it will basically tell how good of a shot you are. So you can see that I didn't quite hit directly in the middle of the target. So this is actually one extra lighting block. I actually went all the way up to like however many, let me count, 16, where the target block can actually do an output of 15 because the block itself is the 16th source of redstone. So this is actually one, I won't ever hit that end there. It's impossible. I set unrealistic expectations for myself. But either way, so if I shoot way over here in the corner, you can see that it gives me a much smaller redstone than if I actually aim for the center and I get the center. There is a special advancement. So if you hit directly in the center of the target, it will actually give you the bullseye advancement. If I could friggin' hit the middle of the target. There we go, bullseye. So that was a direct hit and I got the advancements. Now this does not only need to be hit with arrows. So basically anything that you can throw. So you could do snowballs, I guess I should say. You could do eggs, trident, and I assume you could also do ender pearls, although you would be teleported to it. Let's just make sure. No. Okay, ender pearls is a no-no. Get out of my life, ender pearls. Why did I even say you? But so you can see trident works, eggs will work. Ooh, wow, I really missed there. And also they will create poor little babies that are gonna go into the lava. And then snowballs will work as well. Now you can see that it keeps the score up for only a short amount of time, about 20 ticks, so about a second. There is a way to lock in the score. So if you move the target block with a piston, which you can do, before it's finished removing its score from its own block, then it will lock it in place. So that could be a bug, but it works. I don't know. So right now I have this set up right here so that what'll happen is the target block will, if you hit it at all, it'll activate this redstone, which will activate the piston, pushing the target block away, and then it will keep it there because that is just a one tick pulse, and then you can update that target block and it will pull it back. So if you wanted, you could have something set up where you're far, far away and you are trying to get your shot. Okay, now I know that I have 5. I can reset it with a snowball as long as I actually hit the target, or maybe you could have some redstone to hit it with another projectile, and then I can take another shot. And wow, I did so bad I didn't even get a single redstone, and then I got a better shot that time. So that's kind of nice. It's a nice way to keep the redstone signal around if you wanted to be able to look at it for a little bit longer. One final thing that's a very, very very technical thing is that you can actually set the output of the redstone. So using the set block command, we will change the block that we're looking at right now to a target. So it's not going to actually change the look of this block, but we can change some of the aspects of the block. So power, and you can see that I have all these different power indicators, and that goes all the way to 15. So if I was doing some type of redstone creation and I really wanted a block that would always give an output of 11, well, I can do that now with commands and command blocks. Some cool stuff is that this does not change. So you can see that it's unlike when you hit it with a projectile, it only keeps it for a few ticks. This will stay. And also block updates around this block will not change the output. Even if I break this redstone and put it back, it's still the same output. The only thing that will update this block is another projectile hitting it. So the moment that I hit it with something else, then it will basically forget that redstone state. It's also nice that you don't need a comparator to come off of this block. It's basically like a redstone block. You don't need a comparator in order to pull the signal off of it. Let's move on to Crying Obsidian. Crying Obsidian is a new block with a new texture and some new particles. So you can see as I get close to this Crying Obsidian, it creates little bubbles of purple goop. In the blog post, they call this purple energy, but the actual particle name is dripping obsidian tear, falling obsidian tear, and landing obsidian tear. So it's crying. Well, I mean, I guess because it's literally named Crying Obsidian, I guess that makes sense. But like, it's sad, but I don't know why Eureka! It's crying because of the particles. I guess it's literally named that. I'm dumb. But there's now a precedent for tears. Does that mean that Enderman can cry? Can we get Crying Obsidian Enderman tears? So it looks really, really cool, but can this be used as a portal? What is its function? At the moment, there isn't one. So as you can see, fire inside of something that would look like a normal portal will not work. If you have a normal portal with a little bit of Crying Obsidian in it, it breaks the portal. The only way to really include Crying Obsidian in a portal is to use the blocks that don't matter anyway up in the corners. And so really it's just an obsidian portal with a little bit of Crying Obsidian as a decoration. Crying Obsidian has a huge blast resistance. So it is similar to the Ancient Debris in its super high blast resistance. And it can also be moved with pistons, which normal obsidian cannot. And that is true about slime as well, where slime will slide across obsidian, Crying Obsidian will stay there, and then if it's blocking the path, it works exactly as you'd expect, where obsidian will not move, but Crying Obsidian will. Now, how do you get Crying Obsidian? It is currently, oh no, I didn't mean to delete all those things. Currently, Crying Obsidian is only obtainable in a single possibility. It's not craftable, and it's not in the world generation at the moment. That could change in the future. This is a snapshot development build. You get the picture. The only place to get Crying Obsidian is from Piglins, and that brings us also to all the Piglin changes as well. It's not a ton of stuff, but they have changed a little bit. So before, whenever you gave a Piglin gold, they would immediately throw out their barter thing to you. Now that has changed, where if you throw them some gold, they will sit there and stare at the gold and consider it, and then they will throw you whatever. So we'll throw that on the ground. He'll pick one up. He looks at it. I'll pick up the rest of this gold. After he considers it, then he will toss whatever he wants to me. So it's not as instantaneous. And also the things that they will give you has changed quite a lot. So obviously this gold is mine and the bond eggs are mine, but all these other things, all these other drops, they are from the Piglins. One of those new drops is Crying Obsidian. We're just going to throw a whole bunch of gold in there and kind of see some of the stuff that they give us. So Crying Obsidian can now be bartered with in order to get it. So that's really the only way to get this in the current game. But also there are some really, really nice trades, or I guess barters, from the Piglins now. String is new. Obviously Crying Obsidian is new. Fire resist potions. They'll give you both these splash potions, and they will give you normal potions as well. So you can see these normal potions, normal fire resist potions. These Piglins are being cheap, so I actually had created a little area to farm farm some of this, and I've gotten a lot more splash potions and fire resistance potions than I need. But the big one is a Nether Right Hoe. So every once in a while, the piglins will now trade you for a Nether Right Hoe, and I think that that is a very, like, okay, great, now I have a Nether Right Hoe. If a diamond hoe wasn't useless enough, now you can get the Nether Right Hoe. I feel like this is a really funny addition, and I actually really like it a lot, because who in their right mind would ever make a Nether Right Hoe? Who would go through all the process of getting netherite and eventually make a Nether Right Hoe? Someone who has way too much free time. So being able to barter it with the piglins, I think, is a really great way to be able to actually have a Nether Right Hoe, because you never do that otherwise. Now, there is another reason why a Nether Right Hoe is interesting that they give it to you, and that is because the nether wart blocks and the warped nether wart blocks in the warped forests are now able to be harvested a lot faster with a hoe. So I'm in survival mode. That's why these are actually breaking and dropping. So you can see that it also works with a diamond hoe as well, but all other tools are really, really slow. So we have a shovel, super slow. A pick, super slow. The axe, which is probably what you would expect to work, that doesn't work either. And also shears, which work on leaves, they do not work on the nether wart blocks. It is the hoe that is going to be the tool that you are going to use to get all of these nether wart blocks. So it's kind of neat that the hoglins will give you a tool that can also be used in the nether with all of these nether wart and warped nether wart blocks. One more thing about the piglins before we move on is that zombie pigmen, or just the pigmen that have always been in the nether, have been changed. So their model is different and their texture is a little bit different. So here is a piglin. Here is the new zombified piglin, which used to be the pigman or the zombified pigman. So now they have been renamed to zombified piglins, which I like, because now all I have to remember is piglins, not pigmen, and which one is which. And you can see that the head now has an ear on the zombified piglin, and it also has the snout, so it looks very similar. The color is different. You can really tell the difference between the two based off of if they're basically wearing clothes and if one is very pink or if one is more tan. And I'm sort of in an area that doesn't have a lot of zombified pigmen because I'm in the Crimson Forest. I do feel like there is a bug with the texture currently where the loincloth is not textured. That is all just a single color, which seems a little bit odd that there is no texture there. Okay, this video is long enough. You guys have been sitting here going, come on, Chad, get to the point. I don't got all day. So we are going to do a quick list of some of the other changes that are in this snapshot. Entities dropped in flowing lava will now flow with direction. Warped fungi and crimson fungi have been renamed to warped fungus and crimson fungus. Thank the Lord, because I always got those wrong. The huge fungi trees, still need to change those names. They will only grow on their specific nylium blocks. So we have crimson, that one will grow, but we have warped, that one will not. Get out of my way! That one will not grow. Of course, unless we're in the opposite biome, which the opposite is true. Weeping vines are now climbable, which is really neat. When you switch between biomes, the color of the fog will now gradually change between which biome you are instead of popping back and forth like it used to do. And that about wraps it up for the Snapshot 20w09a. I really like this one. I have some ideas of new stuff that I definitely want to cover that I have discovered in this snapshot, so keep it locked onto the channel. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a big old thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos. If you didn't know that already, welcome to YouTube, wherever YouTuber says that. Have an amazing week and weekend, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!